because a lot of people are doing certain practices that are seen as demonic or evil, or trying to summon different spirits or different creatures.
Han Meditations.
Hey guys, as you can see, I have all these journals. The link will be in the description. Hello guys, I am Han. This is Kelly. We are Han Meditations. And we are back with another exciting video. This one, we're going to be talking about a bunch of different religions and the concept of enlightenment, in which we are very familiar with. And during my meditation process, I was able to achieve a state of enlightenment, which is basically, to me, just connecting in oneness with God, where you feel the presence of God. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a very positive thing. And I believe there are concepts of enlightenment throughout all religions. But I want to see what GPT has to say about this. Especially, I want to hear what it has to say about enlightenment in Islam, because we talked about the great period of Islam in which they were doing a bunch of things like mysticism, so creating mathematics. And let's just see what it has to say. Hello, ChatGPT. I have a question. Is enlightenment the same concept across Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism, just expressed differently?
Enlightenment is a concept present in Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism, but it is understood and expressed differently in each tradition. In Buddhism, enlightenment, or nirvana, refers to the ultimate state of liberation from suffering, ignorance, and the cycle of rebirth. It involves realizing the true nature of reality, transcending desires, and achieving profound peace and understanding. In Hinduism, enlightenment, often called moksha, is the liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara. It is achieved through realizing one's unity with the divine, Brahman, and overcoming ignorance and illusion, maya. In Islam, enlightenment is not typically framed as a separate state like in Buddhism and Hinduism. Instead, it is more about attaining a deep understanding of God's will and achieving spiritual growth through submission to Allah, following the teachings of the Quran, and living a righteous life. This can lead to inner peace and a closer relationship with God. While the goal of overcoming ignorance and achieving a higher state of being is common among these traditions, the paths and interpretations differ significantly. If you'd like to explore any of these concepts further, feel free to ask.
Wow, that is an interesting concept. Now, explain to me, do you believe that number one, I want to know, does Christianity have a form of enlightenment as well? In Judaism?
Yes, both Christianity and Judaism have concepts that can be related to enlightenment, though they might not use the term in the same way as Buddhism or Hinduism. In Christianity, enlightenment can be associated with the idea of spiritual awakening or illumination, which involves understanding and accepting God's truth through Jesus Christ. This is often tied to the experience of salvation, where a believer gains insight into God's grace and love. Mystical traditions within Christianity, such as the writings of the Church Fathers or the practice of contemplative prayer, also explore themes of divine union and spiritual awakening. In Judaism, enlightenment can be seen in the pursuit of knowledge and understanding of God's teachings through the study of the Torah and other sacred texts. The concept of tikkun olam, or repairing the world, emphasizes ethical living and spiritual growth. Jewish mysticism, particularly Kabbalah, also explores deeper spiritual insights and the relationship between God and humanity. While the terminology may differ, the pursuit of understanding, connection with the divine, and personal transformation are central to both faiths. If you'd like to dive deeper into any specific aspects, just let me know.
Jewish mysticism. I never actually heard of that concept, but one of the things that we did was we actually learned a lot about the concept of Brahman. We learned a lot about the concept of Ishvara. We learned about the concepts in a lot of Hinduism, and we learned a lot in Buddhism, mainly Hinduism. We watched videos about Sadhguru and different people, and it really is an interesting perspective whenever you really learn about all different types of religions, because most people only learn about one. Most people only know about one.
Right.
But from my personal experience, it's important to know about all different kinds of religions, because once you learn about a different religion, your perspective on God changes and you're able to see different people's perspective. Now, whether you want to maybe convert someone to your religion, maybe you want to help someone with a different practice, maybe you just want different things to pull from, it's important to learn about all different religions and different practices within those different religions, because all of them have something to offer.
Yes.
And you shouldn't feel like you are disconnecting from God just learning about another religion. It doesn't mean, especially if you're learning from a religion like paganism or something. I don't practice paganism or anything like that. But a lot of times you have to learn so that you can know how to combat that, because a lot of people are doing certain practices that are seen as demonic or evil, or trying to summon different spirits or different creatures that I don't believe should be summoned.
Yeah.
So, there's an interesting concept whenever you're really learning about it.
Yeah. And it's like, even within paganism, if you did only worship God and only, try to communicate and work with God, if God believes it's best for another being, another entity to make contact with you, which can happen. I mean, look at Muhammad, peace be upon him. Obviously, he was a prophet, but just an example, the angel Jibril, is the one who contacted him, right? So God obviously has his beings that he works with, and he can make anything happen. He can make a miracle happen. He can make a certain being, come to you. But through that way, you know that it's good, and you know that it's safe, and you know that it's God's will. Because if you're only working with God and then God gives you this, God gives you that, oh, well, it's okay, it's from God. But if you're not working with God and you're just trying to, on your own, with your own human mind, bring out these entities, and you're doing it through the lens of you know best. You know what being is best for you to contact.
Exactly.
But you don't. And it's not you personally. I don't know what's best for me. None of us do.
Yeah. And if let's just say one of these beings is contacting you, you don't worship these beings like a god. We don't worship these beings like, no, dude. If you have a deep meditation, and let's say, because Jesus has came to me before, and I was even meditating, I felt like the Prophet Muhammad came to me the other day.
Wow.
I mean, it was a powerful feeling, and I had never had a connection with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. I think I did tell you.
Oh, sorry.
I don't. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't.
I think I would remember if you told me that.
But yeah, it just felt like there were no words or anything. When Jesus came to me, there were words. But, I feel like we're starting to get more of a connection with, the Prophet Muhammad and with the figures in Islam. So, if one of these beings come to you, you don't worship them like a god, but you see them as, at least me, I see them as like a big brother figure and a role model that you should look up to, and basically a vessel to get closer to God. So, basically an example. So, it's just an interesting concept, learning about enlightenment through all these different beings. So thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for liking and subscribing and being here. We are so grateful you guys are here, and we're lucky to have you guys. And, thank you to the people who donate to the channel. We appreciate you so much, and we love you guys. So thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.